Why, hello, Alex. It's good to see you again.
Hi.
How are you been doing since our last session?
I've been doing okay. How are you?
I'm well. So in our last session, well, let's go over the basics real quick. So I'm gonna have to tell you, as we always discuss in all the meetings, is that if you discuss anything about harming yourself or others, that I will have to report it. There's no self-harm or anything like that against anyone else. So, and then I will take a few notes. If you have any questions about what I'm writing down, you're always welcome to see them. I'm just jotting down what we're saying or what questions I might want to come back to or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay. So, in the last session, we discussed your worriness and we set some goals. And the goals were going to be after spring break, we're going to be able to go to the coffee shop twice a week. I believe it was on Saturday mornings and like a Thursday, if available, if you didn't have to work on these days right here.
Yes.
So, were you able to do that?
Yes. So I was only able to go once instead of twice a week. Only because it was a Saturday and like those are typically my days off. So like I had other stuff to like take care of first.
Right.
That came first before homework, and then I just time got away, so I just did on Thursday, which was the only day I could go to the coffee shop. So yeah,
Okay.
that's the progress I kind of did for that week. So
okay. So at least you are following through. I see that you did at least make it, and the only thing that seemed to have interfered was your work schedule. Well, how was the coffee shop? Well, how was the noise?
It wasn't too bad. I went in and there was quite a few people there, of course, because it's a Thursday, it's almost end of the week. So I went in and I did some homework and grabbed a drink too, just because I felt like I needed the energy to actually get my homework done and, to knock out some of that stuff.
Right.
And it wasn't too bad. I thought it was pretty ambient. I've been there before and it's been louder. So yeah, I think it's pretty good for my first or second time going after spring break. So.
And the noise you said it was ambient and everything. So the noise was not the people coming back and forth through.
Yeah, no, I don't think that, that's typically fine. I usually plug in headphones anyway, so all that tunes out.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. Seems like you have a plan and you're following through with it. Yes. You're accomplishing the goal that we set into play and everything like that. So let's talk about the worrying. Are you still worried as much now since we're getting closer to the end of the school year with a few more weeks of school?
Maybe just a little bit. I know we're getting to like the end of the semester, so like we have 4 or 5 weeks left, and it's going by fast now. So I'm trying not to not do homework and procrastinate, because that's gonna just come back and bite me in the butt. Yeah.
So do you think next year would be a better year as far as?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and stay ahead of the game. That's what I always try and do if I can help it. If I'm not worrying, obviously, because then sometimes I'm just like, oh wait, I got other stuff to do, and then time comes and then that worry kicks in. So I'm like, I should have done it, beforehand, to avoid having to deal with it in the moment. So.
Right. Well, at least that's good. I noticed that you said you're already thinking about next year, and you're thinking that, hey, you're getting the hang of it this year. By next year, it'll go smoother. So it's really good that you're actually being able to accomplish the goals. Your brothers, I know you talked about your family saying that everything, they make you feel young and everything like that. They don't really interfere with your schoolwork or your studies too much or anything like that. Well, a little, but if you're doing it at home. But we've already set a goal for you going out of the home and doing it. So has anything with that changed? Are you still?
Yeah, no, not really. Everything's pretty much stayed the same. I just usually try and now I just try and go somewhere that's like distraction free.
Okay.
And somewhere where there's really nobody else to bother me, only because I focus when there's no talk or like distractions. As long as I have my earbuds in and I start doing the work, I think that's good enough for me.
Okay.
So
What about the planner? Were you able to get the planner or the calendar that we talked about?
I did get a calendar, but sometimes I forget I have it and I don't update it. It's been like a week or two, and like I haven't wrote anything in it, which is bad.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get better at it, just because I'm not really in that routine.
Okay.
I haven't used one in probably like since I was like in high school.
Okay.
So
Okay. Well, that's going to be your homework. Your homework is going to be to use the planner.
okay, I will try to do that.
So I'm going to remind you of that at the end of the session to make sure you do your homework. So, and I guess that's going to be part of your action plan. We're going to develop that, and that plan is going to be actually using the planner and trying to get to the second session of finding the time to go and do your homework.
Okay.
So, how about the library?
Mhm.
Would you be able to try the library one day, or maybe since you're working on Saturdays or something like that? I noticed that the library stays open late on campus. Is that an option?
Yeah, I never thought about the university library, because I'm like, you would think those places would like close early, but yeah, you're right. Now that you mention it, there are hours where they're open later, so I feel like it'd be nice, and I feel like it'd be less calm too, or it'd be more calm, not less calm.
Right.
So I think that's a good idea. I can try and do that.
Okay. I'm okay with this. Are you okay with this brainstorming that we're doing? We're going over other ideas and other locations and trying to get these sessions involved into more ideas for you to do.
Yes,
Okay.
I think it's fine. I think the library is good. The coffee shop has been pretty good. I'm trying to think of where else. I was gonna say like a different like location too for like the coffee shop, so I don't get like as not bored, but like just so I'm not going to the same place. I like variety, so like I'm trying to think of like when I go to places, there's different like seating areas, where it's at, and like because I think when you're studying somewhere, it's nice for your environment to just be relaxing and calming, not like chaotic and like
Right.
chaos everywhere. It just makes more of a distraction for me.
So was there ever a time that you weren't stressed when you were in school, that you were worrying about anything?
I think before I transferred, yes, it was when I was taking the shorter classes. But when I transferred to campus, like here, because I was coming from Ivy Tech, it was a different experience for sure. And I felt like I was less worried. But now it's a different ball game here. But I'm trying to adjust and find the routine. So that's why I'm like trying to seek some help to get this work done in a timely manner.
So what makes it a different ball game? Is it the class size? Is it the assignments? What about it?
I think the classes for sure, and how long they are too. They're like 16 weeks versus like 8 weeks is what I used to take over there. So it was much more fast paced, which is not necessarily a good thing, but like that's what it was when I first started, and that's what I was like used to for like the first couple of years of schooling. So coming here, then that changed, and then the classroom did get a little bigger, but I didn't mind it at all. So
Okay. So let's see. So we've discussed our goals, and we reviewed what we did in the last session. We talked about your family. Are there any other stressors that are affecting your schooling that you may want to talk about?
I guess the only other thing I can think about is work. Maybe slowly starting to maybe affect my work, only because I've been getting scheduled more hours at work.
Mm-hmm.
I went from I would say 30 hours to 39 in a couple of weeks, which is a big jump for me.
Yes, it is.
Only because that's full time now. So then I'm going full time for school too. So I'm I need to make sure I find time to do this homework.
Right.
And to find to find time to go to the coffee shops and actually get some work done when I can. So
Okay. So with all that being said, have you found time for yourself? You have schooling going on full time, you have work going on full time. When is there time for Alex to just find the time for him to relax and be at ease?
I'm trying to probably most time in the evenings, after school. I have school on Tuesdays and Wednesdays mostly. So after then I typically don't have much to do. So that's when it would be me time. But it's only those 2 days out of the week. Every other day I'm working or going to school. So
Okay. So when you have that me time, what does that entail? What type of self-care does that entail?
I really like doing putting on some of my favorite music and jamming out to that, and I really enjoy taking a shower, because I feel sometimes that just gets all the negative and just resets off me. That's how I think of when I take a shower. Music, the shower, and then another self-care thing. I had it in my head. Oh, I play with my PS5, so I play video games. I think it's nice to just kind of immerse yourself in another gaming world. So,
Do you involve your family in the playing of the video games?
I do not, only because I play games that are, of my interest, and games that my parents or my siblings would probably not find enjoyable.
Okay. Well, it's good to hear that you do have some self-care techniques that you use by taking the showers and the listening to the music and the playing the video games. We are setting aside time for yourself. You are figuring out how to get the schooling situation taken care of with the less worrying. We're going to try and implement maybe going to the library, since it's opened a little later, even though you picked up an additional 9 hours and it's making you full time, which I understand that right there is, money might be okay, but it's still going to be a little stressful.
Yeah.
And we don't want that stress that you're dealing with from that to maybe go back into affecting the schooling or anything like that. So,
I think, yeah.
Do you have any other questions or concerns? Anything that you feel that we did not discuss?
Not that I can think of. We talked about pretty much about the coffee shop, and then we talked about maybe going to the library, which I can see myself doing because I've been to the library before, so it's not a new environment for me. So I can definitely, I'm willing to go back. I just need to find the time and maybe do it on a Thursday or Saturday.
Okay. Well, it was really good talking to you again, Alex. Are you okay with setting up our schedule for the next week, same time?
Yep, that works for me.
Okay, and don't forget, I'm giving you homework. This time around, you're going to actually use the planner. You're going to write one thing down in the planner.
Okay.
Whether it's what you did, as far as one assignment, this assignment is due on this day, if you completed the assignment, and then we'll go further into that in the very next session.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Alex. You have a good day.
Thank you. You as well.
Bye-bye.